we'll go for your astable multivibrator. So astable multivibrator, we know that the name itself tells astable. So we don't have any stable states. That means my output will be continuously alternating between your low and high. So for this astable multivibrator, we are not going to give any input signal there. So once your circuit is going to be connected, automatically you are going to have your output to be generated there. So here our aim of the experiment is to design an astable multivibrator using IC555 timer to generate a square wave of desired frequency and duty cycle. So the components required is going to be an IC555 timer, resistors, capacitors, connecting wires, connecting board and CRO probes. So the design of the astable multivibrator for the operation of frequency 1.5 kHz. So we are going to design a square wave generator where the square wave generator is going to be operated at a frequency of 1.5 kHz and the duty cycle is going to be 66%. So here when I am not going to connect a diode across the resistors, then we call that we get the duty cycle to be 66% there. So here we are going to see the design without diode. So the given frequency is going to be 1.5 kHz and the duty cycle is going to be 66%. Now we are going to see during the charging time of the capacitance, it involves two resistors RA and RB. So the total time constant is going to be 0.69 into RA plus RB into C. And if it is going to be during the discharge time, it is going to be only one resistance is going to be involved, that is your RB. So TD is equal to 0.69 into RB into C. So now we are going to assume the capacitance value to be 0.01 microfarad. So here your duty cycle is equivalent to T charging time period divided by the total time period into 100. So here the charging time period is going to be 0.66. So here total time delay is going to be 0.66 milliseconds there. So TC duty cycle into T, total time T. So here the duty cycle is going to be 66%. So this 0.66 into the total time is going to be 0.66 milliseconds. So if I substitute here, your charging time is going to be 0.435 milliseconds. So total time is equal to 0.66 milliseconds. Charging time is 0.435 milliseconds. So discharging time is going to be, if I subtract from this, discharging time is 0.225 milliseconds. So now to calculate, we are going to see RA plus RB is equal to TC by 0.69 C. So here in this case, your TC value you have found out to be 0.435 milliseconds. So substitute in this, substitute your C value to be 0.01 microfarad. You get RA plus RB is equal to 63 kilo ohms here. Next is RB is equivalent to TD divided discharge time divided by 0.69 C. TD is nothing but, here we have found the TD value to be 0.225 milliseconds. So 0.225 milliseconds divided by 0.69 into your 0.01 microfarad there. So RB value will be 32 kilo ohms. So substitute in this equation, we will get the RA value to be 31 kilo ohms there. So next with diode, if I am going to use a diode across one resistor, then in that case I will be getting a duty cycle of 50%. So here the given frequency is going to be 1 kHz. So TC is equivalent to 0.69 RA into C. So the RB is not going to be there during the charging period. TD is equivalent to 0.69 RB into C. So a percentage duty cycle is TC by T into 100. TC is equal to TD is equal to 0.5 milliseconds. So C is going to be 0.01. If I substitute here, I will be getting the value to be 72 kilo ohms there. So this is a circuit diagram. So here during the charging path, I will be using your RA and RB. So when the circuit is going to be switched on, from this VCC, current will be flowing through your RA, RB and C, and this capacitance will be charged. So here when the capacitance is going to be charged, your voltage will be raised to 1 by 3 VCC. So 1 by 3 VCC means my output of this is going to be in the high state there. So here again my capacitor will be charged like this. So when the capacitor is going to be charged like this, it will be the maximum of 2 by 3 VCC. So once your voltage across the capacitor reaches 2 by 3 VCC, my output comes to the low state. So when the output comes to the low state, my capacitor starts discharging. So it will start discharging through C, RB and to your discharge transistor there. So that means during discharging path, I have only one resistor to be present, that is your RB resistance alone. So that is why in the discharging path we write RB alone there, RB into C. So here again when the voltage decreases to 1 by 3 VCC, again your output will go to the high state there. Till then it will be in the low state. So this is your 555 timer acting as an unstable multivibrator. So here your capacitor charges from 1 by 3 VCC to 2 by 3 VCC. During the charging process, my output will be in the high state. During the discharging process, my output will be in the low state there. Again, when it starts charging, my output will be in the high state there. So this is your charging time, this is your discharging time. Your total time period is going to be your charging time plus your discharging time. That is going to be the total time period. So procedure is connect the circuit as shown in the circuit diagram. Observe and note down the output waveform. So once your circuit is switched on, you are going to have the output to be presented, got at the output there. At pin number 3, we will be measuring the output. So you are going to measure the frequency of oscillation and the duty cycle there and compare it with the theoretical values there. So we can plot both your capacitor voltage across the capacitor as well as the output waveform. So result is we are going to design an unstable multivibrator and we are going to see what is going to be the output. Thank you. Now we are going to do a stable multivibrator using 555 timer. So this is a circuit diagram where we are going to have 2 resistors and 1 capacitor. This is going to be used for determining the output of your circuit. So now we'll see this is your 555 timer. Here you have a cut here, cut you are having there. That means you should keep it on the top. And this will be a pin number 1, 2. So pin number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So now we have inserted your pins like this. So like this we have inserted it. So now this is your pin number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So now we'll start the connection. So I have kept it like this. Now from your pin number 4 and 8 we are going to do VCC. So this is your pin number 4. So 4 and 8 I am going to short it. So after shorting it, I am going to connect it to your power supply. So your power supply is going to be here, 6 volts I am going to keep. The negative is to be grounded. Now from the 4th pin, we are going to use 33K resistor. So 4th pin I have used your 33K resistor. And this 33K resistor other end I am going to connect it to your pin number 7. So this is your pin number 7. I have connected your 33K resistor there. Again from pin number 7 we are going to use your another 33K. So this is your pin number 7, another 33K to your pin number 2. Then pin number 2 and 6 shorted. So here pin number 2 and 6 I have shorted it here. So this is your pin number 2 and 6 are shorted. And from this 6th pin I am going to have a capacitance which is going to be used for charging to determine the threshold voltage. So pin number 6 here, in this case I am going to connect a capacitance. That capacitance is going to be here. It is going to be connected to your ground. So the other end of the capacitance is connected to your ground terminal there. So next is the capacitor pin number 1. So pin number 1 I am going to connect a capacitance. That capacitance other end should be grounded. So I am going to connect the other end to your ground. And pin number 5. So pin number 5 is here. This is your capacitance. So from this capacitance the other end should be connected to ground terminal. So once all these connections are over, pin number 3 we are going to take the output. So this is your CRO. From the CRO we are going to take your pin number 3. So pin number 3 I connected the input, and to see the voltage across the capacitance, the other channel we are going to use. So here we are going to use your CRO. So this is going to be plus, this is going to be minus. The other channel I have connected across the CRO. That is to your pin number 6. And the other terminal I have connected to ground. Now we are going to see the output voltage. So in the power supply we have to set the voltage to be 6 volts. And from pin number 3 we have to see the output waveform. This is your output waveform, where we are going to see this top is going to be a T on and down is going to be T off. So your T on will be more compared to T off. So during this T on period your capacitance will be charging like this. So here your current will be flowing like this and the capacitor will start charging in this manner. So when it is charging, we have two resistors to be involved here, that is your RA and RB. That is why your T on is going to be more. And this is your charging part during your T on. So during your discharging part, your capacitance, it is going to discharge like this. So in discharging means it is going to involve only a resistance RB. So only one resistance, that is why your T off is less. So here in this case, discharging period is less. So when we say your T on, that is your total time period. Duty cycle, if I am going to calculate, your duty cycle is nothing but your total time period. The charging period divided by your total time period. So that means that it is going to be 0.69 RA plus RB into C divided by your total time period is going to be 0.69 2RA plus RB into C. So if you calculate the duty cycle, it is going to be RA is equal to RB is equal to R means it is going to be 1 by 3. So we will get 33% duty cycle. So in this experiment, you have to calculate T on and T off. So your T on period is nothing but, so T on is equal to, if I am going to bring the waveform down, so T on is going to be 1 into, so this is the channel we have used, 2 volts. So T on is equal, time period is T on total is 1 into 1 milliseconds. So T off is equal to, so if I lift this waveform, it is going to be around 0.6. So each division is 0.2, so 0.6 into 1 millisecond. And total amplitude of the waveform. Amplitude is nothing but, so 1 to 2.8. So 2.8 into 1 volt. So amplitude is going to be 2.8 volts. So the charging period is similarly, charging period is going to be 1 millisecond and discharging period is going to be 0.6 milliseconds. So TC charging period is 1 millisecond and discharging period is going to be 0.6 millisecond. So your amplitude is going to be, if I am going to measure the amplitude, so 1, 2. So 2 into 2 volts. So 2 into 1 volts, it is going to be 2 volts here. So this is your output waveform. So this is how you should measure it.